Hello, this is Vance, and this is the CL Trades for today. And this is Thursday, January the 10th, 2013. We had this really strong move overnight. Price started out at 93.08, low. Well, it opened right about 93.25, but it got to the low of 93.08, and basically ran up until 94.70, yeah, 94.70. So it was almost 162 ticks. Well, actually, it was 162 ticks. That's it's a buck and a half on the overnight. That's typically, I could say that qualifies as a fairly strong trend. You can see there wasn't very many pullbacks. It was kind of just slowly made its way up there. On the volume, price went basically all the way up. There wasn't even really a measured move in here, but once price got to that high, it kind of sold off, and so first thing in the morning, I was kind of looking maybe we were going to go to maybe this was going to be another leg up, and when price conglomerated right around this level right here at about $94.03, it turned around and headed back up. So I see that I marked this trade right here. This blue trade. The reason I marked it is because I think it's this is a second entry long. We had the first off this bottom. See these long tails here. This really represents rejection of price at those levels. Double bottoms, and you've heard me talk about this. So price attempted to go down the first time, it failed. Attempted to go down the second time, a failure. It took a while to work out, but this was a place you could have gone long here. I didn't. But when price came up and pulled back, I went long right here. And that was turned out to be the first trade. Now, it's a pre-market trade. Happened right at 8:30. And the reason I thought is that price was going to at least test these highs. I felt there's enough room to get to these highs, and that's why I took the trade. So this is one of the few pre-market trades that I've taken. And the only reason I took it is because we had such a strong move on the overnight. If we would have had a tighter range and I didn't see this area right here where price really, we had price kind of gripped down here, and this is right about the $94 area, which has been acting as support and resistance, then I wouldn't have taken this trade. Here's a short at the top of this channel. It formed a double top here off the top. We've got a couple of this other one is a little bit higher. Okay, you can say right to here, but when price formed this double top right here, this place to go short is right here. Attempted to go higher the first time, and this very strong bear bar right here going short right there is fine. The 15 tick stop, as long as you maintain that, you were fine. Your runners were relatively safe. You could have played it all the way down to the bottom of the trench run. You think this is naturally going to be an area where we're going to have resistance, and it turned out that in fact was the case. This is right at the open, however. It's right at 9 o'clock, and so this was a trade that worked out. When price came back, it pulled back again. You could have gone short again. Now, I didn't have these in here, this trend line as of yet. It was more, I was thinking that maybe this would be a spike in channel, might be more of a range. So I was looking at trading off resistance and trading off the resistance right here. So when price went down here, it came back, it failed. This is a second entry short right at the bottom of this doji right here, this yellow one, this little green doji. Had you kept your stop above this 15 ticks, it would have worked out fine. This is a reversal. I marked it in blue. I should actually mark it in green. But the only reason I marked it I marked it at all is because, again, I don't know whether this is going to be a range or not. So if it's going to be a range day, this might be the bottom of the range. This was support over here, and this was the, where there was a support right here. I thought the double support here. Price had went down by a couple of ticks and then immediately failed. This is a second entry long, so that was okay. Are we going to test the top of this range? It gave you enough room to get out your 15 ticks, depending where you got in here. And if not, you had enough room to at least get a few points, and you could tighten up. Because, again, I'm still thinking that this might be the first failure. This might be the second failure. We might rocket right out of there and really retest these highs again. As it was, it didn't. It stalled right at this other, was formerly this resistance right here, and it immediately failed. This was a nice strong bull bar from the from a wider double top well, actually wider, basically triple top. And so going short here was an excellent trade. As long as you kept your stop at 15 ticks, it would be above here. And this one worked its way down lower. A trade here, there isn't. It's kind of like, it's really unto itself. I mean, it did fail twice. If you went long here, I could see it, but it ultimately failed. It didn't give you your 15 ticks, so you could have gone here. But then we formed this double top here, so I'm still looking short because of this down move here. Now I've switched my bias to more of a short, and the reason I moved to here because after this formed right here, I drew this trend line like this. Okay, so now. And if we double it up off the bottom like this, let's say. So once we got here, any trades I was looking for were mostly my bias was going to be more shorts. Okay. Now, going short here, there's overlap, but we really have two failures back to the EMA. Well, actually three failures. Price attempt to go down up the first time failed, second time failed, third time. So it's like three failures. That's why price was really having this problem because the double top. If you go short here, your stop is behind these bars right here, and that's a trade that worked out. It didn't go that far though. I mean, instead of it kind of turned around. Now, you could have made an argument of taking the long here, but I didn't like it, so I passed on this. Again, price came up the first time, failed. It tried to go down up the first time, failed. Up the second time, I immediately failure and get another opportunity to go short here. Would you have gone short here? Again, if you would have gone short on this bar, as long as you kept your stop at 15 ticks, you're fine. Same with this one. This little doji, 15 ticks. Because this was above here, I was looking at resistance. So above this one, you were fine for this particular trade. Now, this one towards the double bottom. It's worthwhile going long here. We've got a break of the trend channel. Maybe this is going to be a continuation and retest these highs. I don't know. But as you can see, we got a failure here again. So another fade and another fade here for the same reasons right across this top here. I think you can see that. And if you see that, it's really close to what we saw support this morning. So fading from here. I was even on one of the talking to a fellow trader, and I talked about the fact that when price got down to this level, I was actually thinking of taking a short there. I think it was right here. Depending how price formed out here, and then it basically turned around and went in the other direction. So I was, I was reluctant to go short here because we see price went down the first time it failed, second time failed, and this was actually, I switched my bias from short to long. And once this little doji formed right here, going long here, your stop is going to be below these bars. I mean, it went right to the other part of the channel, and you can see that there's rejection. Here's a little trap. And the same thing is coming down to the other side. I don't know if I would use this as a place to turn around. I mean, again, I'm thinking really short more than anything else. Short here, and then this one almost fooled me. This is another one. I think this is here's one that price is conglomerating here. It may try to go higher, so it failed. This is a second entry long right here. It's a failure to go any higher, and immediately failed. Of course, we went down low, but this is right at the close. So those are basically the trades. I mean, there's a number of, my bias was short most of the day, and I think it was really kind of a big range. I mean, we had this range here, dropped down to this range here, and then ultimately dropped down to this range here. So if you put boxes around it, let's say this is the box here for one range right here. See, this is a smaller range within this range right to here, and then this range down here. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. So it was a strong trend overnight. We're expecting some of that, but it didn't really turn out to be that. It turned out to be really kind of a rangy day. But if you look at these areas, if you traded off the double tops, and if you traded off the double bottoms, mostly the double tops because of the fact that I thought that the general trend was going to be down, and that's what it turned out to be. Obviously, I mean, price wound up at the low of the day, like right at 3 o'clock, and you can see there's lower lows through most of these areas here, right from the top here, except for this one maybe, but lower lows all the way down, and you can see that, and lower highs most of it, except for this range, these range things here. So anyway, that's it for now. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll try to answer them. Bye for now.